Steve Backley and Mick Hill, those seasoned campaigners, start their bid for medals in the javelin this morning. So does Britain's number 3, Mark Roberson, and we hear from him now.
Mark, what's it like having Messrs Backley and Hill as teammates?
Well, they've been teammates on and off for quite a while now, but for recent years I haven't been in the team very often. So it's good to be back doing something with them. Good to train with, certainly bringing me up motivation-wise, and you know, get me ready. Give me the experience with the major championships. I haven't done one before, so Commonwealths, yeah, but not Europeans or World or Olympic. So yeah, it's good to have them on the team.
Now, the qualifying competitions are always difficult. Is this something you're looking forward to, or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long time since I've done a qualifying. I think World Juniors in 1986 was the last time I had to do a qualifying, but I've got no worries about it at all. And we've prepared really well. So we're in Czechoslovakia training. And I was kicked out of bed at 6:30 every morning by Calvin Morris, our guy, and was sharing with. And you know, perhaps I needed that. I probably wouldn't have prepared as well as I have now, and I feel I've been in the best shape of my life, physically, mentally, and ready to go, really.
Well, you've proved that through shattering your personal best by over 5 metres. What was special about that throw, apart from the distance?
I never was in good shape to throw. I've always been good physically, but never really put it together with a good technique. So done a lot of work with Steve's, done a lot with Zelezny, and you know, I've done the last couple of years just working on my footwork rather than sort of in the gym. And I think that's got a lot to do with it, to be honest with you. And just, you know, the 85 was, you know, I've been promising that for 10 years really. I knew it was in there and just kept plugging away for the last sort of 10 years. But certainly the last 2 years, my coach Mike McNeil as well has helped a massive amount. John Trower. Just a case of getting myself fit, which has always been a problem. Just doing some different work and having a different view on it, and you know, completely changed the way I look at throwing a javelin. You know? So it's made a big difference.
Are Great Britain going to win medals at this European Championship in javelin?
I'd say definitely, yeah. How many is we'll have to wait and see. Like I say, once got to get qualifying out of the way. It's an unusual situation that I've actually got a fairly decent PB going into a major games, which is, you know, I was hoping to do before I did come out, but it's there now, and you know, I don't feel any pressure at all. That may sound funny. There was a lot of pressure after I did the 85. People congratulating me and all the rest of it, and I found it very hard to concentrate on the trials. But I knew I had to come here. You know, I was quite happy to come here in 3rd spot and get through the qualifying. You know, if I go through in the qualifying in 3rd spot, then I'll be delighted, and if I come through in the final in 3rd spot, then I'll be even happier. So, you know, it's you know, I've got 2 of the best throwers in the world here for championships, Mick and Steve, and they've both proved that in the past. And you know, I just want to be in the final with them. You know, just get on with the job, really.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks.
Mark Roberson goes in the first qualifying pool of the javelin, but Mick Hill and Steve Backley, we'll see them a little bit later on. They're in pool 2. Now, first of all, it's Sergey Makarov, the big Russian record holder. First throw of the competition. The target is 82 meters 50 to qualify, and it's just short. And that's the longest throw we've seen so far this morning. These big guys don't like getting up early. I mean, they were down at the training track at something like 6 or 7 o'clock this morning to try and, I suppose, simulate conditions. They almost imagine they're competing late in the afternoon, but early in the morning to get this explosive action underway is pretty difficult. Makarov, well known to javelin throws in Great Britain, competed Crystal Palace, Gateshead, Sheffield, those sort of stadiums many times. So 82.50 just beyond him, but it's a decent throw. There we have it, 80 meters 98 for Makarov. Mark Roberson now in the 2nd round. Best result so far, 74 meters plus. He must do better than that, and it could be with this throw. Oh, he really nailed it. John Trower, his coach, says hit it through the point, and he did exactly that. Now that will help his campaign to qualify for the final. It would be tremendous if we could get 3 javelin throws in that final. Roberson, he's been around for a long time, but really only found his true potential this year with that 85-meter throw. 12 people will go through to the final if we don't have sufficient numbers going over 82 meters, and nobody's done it so far, but that is fairly close. Mark Roberson, 79.63 m. He's fourth in this pool at the moment. Well, Aki Parviainen, the only javelin thrower in the world this year to have beaten Steve Backley, and he's done it twice. So he's got some talent. He actually had a foul in the first round. The Finns, traditionally tremendous javelin throwers. And it's long, round about the same distance as Mark Roberson threw just a few moments ago. The two follow each other in this second round. That looks as though as well it could put the Finn up into about second or third place in this pool. So I suspect that the 82.50 m qualifying mark, it's beyond everybody at the moment. And if anybody gets around about 79 or 80 meters, it should be sufficient. A lot depends, of course, on what happens in Pool 2, which includes Mick Hill and the reigning champion Steve Backley. Now that's Parviainen's best. He in fact moves into second place, 80.65 m. Well, this is an interesting guy, Gregor Högler, double international. A very good bobsledder for his national team as well. Very fast arm, nearly came to grief just as he released it. Oh, it's long as well. A lot of the throws this morning have been down in the 70s, the mid-70s. We haven't seen too many throws approaching that qualifying line. Bit of a worrying time for the German Peter Blank. He's one of the world's longest throwers this year, and he's only throwing 75 meters, so it is tough out there. As Högler just managed to stay behind the line. You're not allowed to touch it, let alone go over it. Sails out there. He went over 80 meters in the first round. I wonder if that's a little further. Oh, it is. 80 meters 47, his best throw. He's in third place. Last chance for Peter Blank of Germany. He's in real trouble. Oh, just managed to stay behind the line. It's long. Oh, throw. We've seen over 82 meters 50 this morning. Oh, dear me. And this is the last guy to throw in the whole of this pool. The last of 12 competitors. You can't leave it any later than that. And that means that Mark Roberson, because of Peter's throw here, will move down into sixth place. It's going to be an agonizing wait for the Haringey athlete to see if he makes it through to the final. But Peter Blank, they're launching that spear over the qualifying mark, the only man to do so this morning. It's 83 meters 41. Good throw by the German. Well, that's a list of the qualifier. I was going to say the qualifiers. There's only one by right. And all of those throwers under Peter Blank, Makarov, Parviainen, Högler, Trafas of Poland, and Mark Roberson of Great Britain will have to wait and see what happens in the second pool, which includes Mick Hill and Steve Backley. There we are, just coming out to complete their warm-up for the second pool. And really, European Championship javelin throwing has all been about Steve Backley since 1990 in Split. Twice the champion now, and the championship record holder. The first round of the second pool of the javelin. We've already seen a massive throw by Juha Laukkanen of Finland. Well known to Steve Backley because the Finn broke Steve Backley's former world junior record some years ago. This, though, is Mick Hill. His fourth European Championships. And as sprightly as ever. Tremendous guy to be around when he's training. He's such a great motivator. And that throw actually by Laukkanen has pushed Mark Roberson down to 7th overall. But this is Mick Hill in the first round. Fast approach. Well, it's coming down well short of the qualifying line. He didn't really hit that well enough. That's the way I should have done it. He's always very fast in his approach, but he just pulled down on the javelin there a little bit instead of hitting it right through the point, and he walks through it to foul. He knew it wasn't up to scratch. 2 more to go though, and let's hope they're good. Mikhill, a big friend of Steve Backley, despite the fact they're great rivals. Look at that, from Split to Helsinki to Budapest. Steve Backley, simply the best. Technically pretty solid all the time, and it's flying. Oh my goodness. The champion is in tremendous form. Takes the belt off, it'll go straight in the bag, off with the spikes and back to the team hotel. Well, let's hope he hasn't left his best throw in this European Championship in the qualifying round. I'm sure he hasn't. He's been displaying terrific form all year, and this looks very, very promising for Steve Backley to go for a hat-trick of titles. It's massive. It's 2 or 3 meters further than anything we've seen here today so far. 87 meters 45, and everybody here will know Steve Backley now is the man to beat. Surely he is the best here in Budapest. Well, Raymond Hecht, he's another guy that's been around Steve Backley for the last few years. He's beaten him on a few occasions as well. He had the world's longest throw back in 1995. The Germans, tremendous rivals of Mikhill and Steve Backley. And capable is this man of tremendous throws. I wonder how that throw that Backley just launched out has affected him. He's not as smooth. I think he may well have stepped on the line there. It nosedives down anyway. But the British spectators here, I'm sure, still buzzing from seeing that throw by Steve Backley wing its way out. So Raymond Hecht there just managed to jam the brakes on. He's not as smooth as Steve Backley or Mikhill, but he's so tremendously strong. A real animal. Tall, broad shoulders, fast on the runway too. So Raymond Hecht, 2 throws to go, just like Mikhill, and he's got to make them count. So Steve Backley there just packing everything away. He'll get out of this stadium as soon as he possibly can and into some air-conditioned room somewhere. And incidentally, that throw by Steve Backley, can you believe it? A new championship record. He's broken his own championship record, which he set back in Split in 1990. That is fantastic and so promising for the final. Well, as Steve Backley leaves the stadium, we can have a look back at Juha Laukkanen in the first round. This is a very, very good Finn indeed. Second thrower to throw in the B group for qualifying. Such a fast arm and well over the line. Big cheer from the Finnish contingent. And if you look down the best throwers of all time in javelin throwing, there's quite a few Finns there on that list of former Olympic champions, world champions and European champions as well. That was a very nice throw indeed. Well, if he can maintain this sort of form, possibly somebody who could challenge for the gold. Steve Backley will be there, that's for sure. Mikhill, we hope, and Mark Roberson. (83 meters 71). That's a tremendous start. Well, Mikhill, after that foul in the first round, just settling himself, composing himself. He's not a great fan of qualifying competitions, Mikhill, but he's been in more major championships actually than Steve Backley. He's been competing at this sort of level for over a decade now, so he knows precisely the right mental approach. He's prepared himself physically so well. The guys were off in Czechoslovakia, in Jan Zalesny, the world record holder's hometown. So Mick Hill, in about half an hour we'll know, but he's got a bit of work to do. 3 major championships Denise Lewis has contested. She's got medals. Patrick Bowden, though, now going for a qualifying mark, and it's just short. Just under 80 meters, but let me remind you of the mark that Mark Roberson threw in the first round, because we'd like Mark to be one of the top 12 and make his way through to the final. Mark Roberson threw 79 meters 63, and so far in this second pool, well, Laukkanen, we've seen him, he's gone beyond that mark, and so has Steve Backley. But just looking at the board, nobody else has, so the Briton is still in 8th place. I've got a feeling, though, that throw by Patrick Bowden could have pushed Mark Roberson down into 9th. Yes, it has. 81.01, just short of the automatic qualifying mark. So we'll have to wait and see. We've got Steve Backley safely through to the final. Mark Roberson is sweating somewhere in the stadium waiting, and Mick Hill has got 2 throws to prove his worth as a finalist.
Mick Hill's about to throw. Steve Backley already qualified with a championship best throw for the final. What can Mick Hill do? Here's Paul.
Thanks, Des. An important throw for Mick Hill. I don't think he'd want to go into a 3rd round under pressure to try and qualify. His target, 82 meters 50. Oh my goodness, he knew that wasn't very good, so he has put himself under some pressure. And if anybody's just joined us, Mark Roberson in the first pool, well, he threw 79 meters 63, not the automatic qualifying spot, but he is in 9th position overall at the moment. The big news, though, is what happened to Steve Backley just a little while ago. 87 meters 45 with his very first throw, a new championship record, and safely through to the final and back to the team hotel. But Mick Hill now, he's got a few problems.
Yeah, he has, Paul. Put a lot of pressure on himself now, but as soon as he hit that javelin, he said no. This is Raymond Hecht of Germany. Big fella, tall, long levers, and that looks pretty good. And that's qualified. Just over the 82-meter mark, 82.50, the qualification. It's slightly more than that. And Raymond Hecht will go back now to his hotel and prepare. He's a 92-meter thrower. That was back in 1995, though. He's not the best of 88 this season. So he's always a threat. You know, sometimes they just do get the one throw out when it matters. Everyone here in the top half a dozen is capable of winning the javelin, although Backley did look impressive. But the qualifications are so difficult, you know, and Mick Hill must be finding it very difficult, because often to think of the final is not the thing to do. You've got to regard this qualification as a final and then move on. I remember talking to Steve Backley about that once. He said he got into trouble on one occasion and he was thinking too much about what he was going to do in the final before he'd even got to it. But Mick pacing relentlessly, he'll be pretty tense. He's got to try and calm himself down a little before he goes into the final throw. And he's got to get up there around about 80 meters. He may not need the 82 meters and 50 to go through, but because the conditions are proving quite difficult. But one more throw to go then for Mick Hill, and he's got an awful lot of composure to come across in the next quarter of an hour or so.
Now then, the javelin competition really is getting a bit tense. Mick Hill, as you were saying, Stuart, is pacing around. But I don't think there's anybody really better qualified to handle a situation like this than Mick Hill. One of our most experienced field eventers ever. He's been in every major championship since 1986, missing the final only once. Well, this is Terry McHugh. That's quite an imposing figure, doesn't he? But I tell you what, he's a great guy to be around. And also competed in the Winter Olympics. Last time I saw Terry McHugh was at the bottom of the bobsleigh run in Nagano, and he had terrible flu with the final couple of runs of the four-man bob about to get underway. But he got down safely. Now it's back to his summer speciality, the javelin. His best throw so far, down at 72 meters. Big roar from the Irishman. That's a little better, I think, than his first round throw, but nowhere near enough. And I wonder if he's in pain as well. That's the way it should be done. Terry's trained with Mick Hill and Steve Backley on many, many occasions. Captain of the 1996 Irish Olympic squad. Highly thought of. Nope, not good enough, and he knows it. While Terry's waiting for his distance, Stuart, it's 72 metres 71. That throw, of course, by Raymond Hecht, putting Mark Roberson down into 10th place now. So if Mark's in the stadium, he's going to be biting his fingernails.
Erik Grag of Latvia, an 80-metre thrower at his best, but only 74.27 today. This is his second attempt. Quite get behind that one, I don't think. That's well short. He was fourth in the European Under-23 Championships last year, was Erik Grag's. He's 23 years old.
It was quite a nice little story this morning, actually, in the first round. And in the first pool, rather. Voldemārs Lūsis was throwing. The son of the great Jānis Lūsis, who won this championship 4 times in a row. Steve Backley not quite up to that standard, but going for a third victory. Safely through to the final, of course, and that's what he's aiming for, 3 gold medals in succession.
Javelin once again, Palimeru of Greece. And that's way down. He's having problems. Not his championship. And he's not going anywhere with that throw. You know, off the shot, I was watching, as a no throw, of course, off the shot I was watching Mick Hill. You know, he's been rehearsing his approach. He's standing up now with a javelin wandering around. He's totally agitated, and he really is trying to prepare, but he may well be putting himself under greater pressure. He's having real problems with his approach. He's practiced it time and time again. He's been running up without a javelin. He's been running up with the javelin, and he's clearly a very worried man.
Vladimir Sezimovic now of Belarus, an athlete who could certainly put pressure on Mark Roberson's throw, 79.63. Mark in 10th place. The Backley sign's still up there, and those people holding the sign up will surely be cheering for Mick Hill when he steps up to take his last throw. Now then, where's this one going? It's short by what, 4 or 5 meters or so. Sezimovic actually lying in 5th place at the moment in this pool. Over 79 meters twice, so he's got a chance of scraping through. But there's still, what, half a dozen throws to go with the last efforts here. So the Belarus athlete close to Mark Roberson. It would be terribly ironic if it was Mick Hill who put Mark Roberson out of the final. But Mick Hill himself knows that feeling. He was in bronze medal position in the World Championships last year until Steve Backley stepped up to take his last throw and push Mick back into 4th place. Sezimovic there, Yuri Rubin, the Russian, Makarov, his teammate, on his way to the final. Can he join him? If the roar's loud enough, it might go, but it hasn't. Oh, some fancy headgear, but it hasn't helped him this morning. Disappointing performance from the Russian, actually, because he's had some good throws this year, over 80 meters consistently, so obviously it hasn't gone terribly well.
It's easier in the stand, isn't it?
Andreas Linden this time. A last chance to impress. No. getting a bit animated, but who can blame him? You know, when you're in a field event competition like this, and you've just got 3 throws, or 3 jumps perhaps, to justify your selection, it does create a pressure all on its own. And as Stuart was saying earlier on, it does take a special sort of person to handle it well. Steve Backley handled it superbly. Can Mick Hill handle it in just a few moments' time?
He's been picking the javelin up, putting it down, stretching, practicing his run. He cannot wait to get on the runway. He had 2 very poor throws. He's in mental turmoil, you can see it. And he's got 1 throw left to save himself, to get through to the final.
Well, here's another athlete under pressure, Matti Narni. He's got a best of over 88 meters, yet this morning he's only just over 70. Now watch him, he's very, very quick indeed. Oh my goodness. It's pretty long. Well, I think he may have done it with that one. The cutoff point at the moment is just around about 79 meters. I think that's certainly in excess of that. And if it is, it probably means Mark Roberson is down to 11th place.
Remember Al Cantello of the United States all those years ago used to dive through at the end of the javelin throw? Well, here we've got another one.
I don't remember that. I'm far too young. Just watch. Incredible. Mick Hill watching in the background. Tremendous effort, wasn't it? And the distance, it's 80 meters 94. He will go through with that, I'm sure. And as I said before, Roberson down in 11th spot. Right, this is where Mick Hill has to go to work. He's done it many, many times before, more than any other British thrower in British history. So let's go. Now, is it far enough? It's pretty long, but it's nose diving down. My goodness, it's going to be so, so close. He's looking up in the stand there to see if his coach, John Trower, can give him any immediate feedback. Well, I couldn't put my thumbs up or down to that one. I've got a feeling, you know, if it is 79 meters 60 plus, it's Mark Roberson who's going to go down to 12th. And there is a tremendous irony attached to that. Is it far enough? It's got to be 79 meters plus. It looks as though it could be 80. Fingers crossed for Mick Hill. It's 80-14. Roberson goes down into 11th or 12th place rather, and Mick Hill thinks he's done enough.
What a look of relief on a face there. He shakes his head. He must be absolutely exhausted after that. A real test of fortitude in every way. He's shaking his head. He's sort of saying, "No, I nearly blew it. I nearly blew it." A little smile at last. He hasn't got the 82.50, but I have a feeling that will be enough to get him through. We'll have to wait, but that was the 80-meter throw that he needed desperately, and wasn't it hard coming? It really was.
Well, good stuff, Mick Hill, but let's just think about Mark Roberson for a moment. There's still, what, 1, 2, 3 throwers to go. And at the moment, we've got 3 British throwers in this javelin final. This is Juksas from Lithuania. Oh, a tremendous roar. Well, he gave it his best shot, but that's short of Roberson, it's short of Hill, and it's short of the qualifying Mark II.
Yeah, 79.63 is the distance we've got to keep an eye on here. If we're patriotic, we don't need anyone to go beyond that distance. And these last throwers just collapsed in and stopped himself from fouling that throw, didn't he? Looks to be well down to me, but let's just get the official confirmation.
So what, 77 meters or thereabouts for the Lithuanian. Juksas, 77 meters 37, his best so far. Now then, Terry McHugh. He's a good buddy of Mick Hill's. Mick Hill will be sweating just a little bit because Terry McHugh, the Irish record holder, Well, he is a 79-meter thrower this year, but has been over 80 many times in his career. What has he got left? I bet there'll be a tremendous roar when he releases this javelin. He's got to control the aggression, though, on the run-up. It's flying very, very low. It's not going to be good enough. Terry McHugh will go out. Ah. He's so passionate about every sport he ever does. The Irish were incredibly popular in Nagano at the Winter Olympics. Their bobsleigh team was signing autographs left, right and centre. Just collapsed there a little bit on delivery, didn't he?
Yeah, he had problems with the approach too. He made several adjustments in the run up to the plant phase and didn't get out of it properly. And he knows it.
Just one throw to go, Stuart. You said it when Mick Hill's throw landed that you thought it'd be enough. Mick Hill, I'm sure, thinks it's enough now. No disrespect to the athlete who's coming up, Ariks Rags of Latvia. But the spikes will be going in the bag, and off he goes back to the team hotel. Mark Roberson, though, competed early on this morning. I'm sure he must be in the stadium somewhere, watching and waiting to see if this man can go beyond 79 meters 63. I don't think so. So it looks as though 3 British athletes go through to the javelin final. Pride of place this morning here goes to Steve Backley, who broke the championship record, his own record, of course, in pursuit of that 3rd gold medal in a row in the javelin event. Mick Hill, well, he left it until the very last moment. His heart must have been in his mouth when he released that javelin. But thank goodness, over 80 meters 14, he goes through to the final as well. And although Mark Roberson did not achieve the automatic qualifying distance, he'll go through in 12th place. Great performances by all of them. But what about Steve Backley? He's got to be the firm favourite now. Championship record with his first round throw. It was absolutely superb.
That 3rd qualifying throw is dramatic stuff.
Yeah, he's an amazing championship performer. I think he has memories of, I think it was in '91 where he didn't get through the qualifying round, and ever since then he's just dominated. And first throw is when you want to do it. One throw, back in the taxi, back to the hotel. He's probably back in bed now.
That's it. Well, Backley's throw will remain as a record, but it doesn't guarantee any medal, does it? Because they start again with the final on Sunday.
That's the problem. It's all, everything's wiped clean, the slate's wiped clean. They're going to go back again and, you know, perform. But I think that throw there will put, you know, the EBGBs up everyone else, and they'll be thinking, if he can do it so easily, what's he going to do when he's really worked up?
I'll be back.